Throughout Digimon's lifespan as a franchise, we've had around 1,500 characters for us to remember. But with such a large cast of digital friends, some of them are honestly easier to forget than others. So I'm going to be going over 5 Digimon that I just really struggle to remember, and whenever I see them I'm kind of like, oh, it's that guy. Before I want to get into it, I do want to mention that I won't be mentioning anything from the Legendary Skies manhwa, as because it was only released in China and didn't even get to complete its run, it just got cancelled. They're more obscure Digimon, so in the case of those Digimon that debuted in the Legendary Skies manhwa, since they didn't really have a wider release, I won't be talking about them because of course they're easier to forget because they're not in more well-known pieces of Digimon media. So if you're curious about the Legendary Skies manhwa, I did do a video about these Digimon that were exclusive to that series for that cancelled Digimon Frontier sequel/successor. So check out that video if you haven't already. I released it about maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, a bit ago, but the content hasn't changed at all. So in any case, yeah, I won't be mentioning anything from the Legendary Skies manhwa. There are also a few Digimon in this list that I've included more than just one, because it's been the other evolutionary stages that are also easy to forget. So in that case, I've included them as the one entity because it's a Digimon that evolves into another Digimon, or various Digimon counterparts. So with that out of the way, let's get into some of these Digimon that I find really easy to forget and hard to remember. First of all, we have a Digimon that appears in various background shots in Digimon Cross Wars, and it's Pambachimon. Every time I see this Digimon, I'm like, kind of like, is that a new Digimon? Never seen this guy before. Every time, I just forget that he exists. And I'm wondering if the reason behind that is he doesn't really look like a lot of other Digimon. He's a little bit too soft. He looks more like an Olympic Games mascot instead of being a Digimon-esque looking guy. And he appears in various shots in Cross Wars, in one episode in particular, and I just always forget that he existed. I remember rewatching Cross Wars a few years ago for the podcast, and looking at this Digimon like, I've literally never seen this Digimon in my entire life, and I feel that every time I see this Digimon. So, sorry Pambachimon, you're cute, but you look just like, yeah, an Olympic Games mascot, or some sports team mascot. Not a Digimon. Then the next one, which is kind of surprising, and it's Agiomon and his evolutions that are from the Digimon Heroes mobile game from a few years ago. Now, as this was a mobile game, it means that the servers have since shut down and have been shut down for a number of years now, which is a shame because Digimon Heroes, my beloved, was probably my favourite of the Digimon smartphone applications, but for some reason, despite my love for Digimon Heroes, I can't remember Agiomon or any of his evolutions. I know he goes Agiochusmon and then red version and blue version, but I feel like every time I look at him, I'm like, I can't remember who you are. Even though I love Digimon Heroes, I played it constantly when it was out, I just can't remember this guy. So, sorry Agiomon, and sorry to your evolutions as well. I just can't remember you. And then we have one where I remember one evolution from this path, and it's Hyokomon, who's a cute little birdie, but I can't remember any of Hyokomon's evolutions, so I don't remember Butenmon, Baraimon, and especially Chronomon Holy Mode. Every time I see Chronomon Holy Mode, I think it's a fan Digimon. And that's not a bad thing. It's a pretty cool design, and there are a lot of fan-made Digimon original characters that are great in their design. It just looks like a fan-made one. I can't put my finger on it. Also, it looks vaguely like a Pokemon. Again, not a bad thing. It just means that it just doesn't look like a Digimon. It's not as memorable for some reason. But Hyokomon, who is the child form, I will never forget. It is very memorable. It's a little ninja chicken. It's very cute. However, all of Hyokomon's evolutions, I just struggle to remember. Chronomon, again, just looks like fan art. I don't know, like, I mean, obviously there is fan art of him, but the design itself just looks like a fan Digimon. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those Digimon. Now, on to another one, which is multiple Digimon in one entry, and it's Raijinmon and Fujinmon. I don't have any hard time remembering the other elemental Digimon like Sujin and Raidenmon, and mainly because Sujinmon is on the Digimon Pendulum Cycle, which is just cursing me forever, but Raijinmon and Fujinmon, for some reason, always escape me. I always can only remember the two, which is Sujinmon and Raidenmon. I can remember those, I see them and I recognise them, but for some reason, Raijinmon and Fujinmon just always escape my memory. I don't know why. And maybe it's because there's 4 of them, and I'm not expecting to be 4 of them, like that, two of them, 3 of them, that makes sense. But I guess in my memory, Raijinmon and Fujinmon are always maybe combined, but I'm always surprised to learn that there are 4 of these, of this group of Digimon. And, I mean, Sujinmon, again, Pendulum Cycle has clearly hurt my brain by making me only think about Sujinmon. And Raidenmon, I guess it's a different one because his name's kind of different. He's just memorable as well. But the other 2, they just escape my mind. Now, my 5th and final Digimon for this Forgotten Digimon list is one that I feel like is both okay to forget but also not okay, because it's a Digimon that debuted and is more or less exclusive to the V-Tamer manga. Now, the reason why this is acceptable is because V-Tamer didn't have a wider release like the other Digimon from this list have been in things that have had wider releases, or at least have appeared in other things besides its original debut. The Raijinmon and Fujinmon, for example, have been in the card game. The Hyokomon evolutions were in DS games. Panbachimon was just straight up there in the anime. And Agiotumon was in Digimon Heroes. My last one is from V-Tamer, and it's Regulumon, who is an evolution from Leomon, and honestly has a great design. But every time I see this Digimon, without fail, I'm just looking at him like, who are ya? Are you fan art? You look cool. I kind of dig your design, but who are you? Very cool design. It's a lion and a cape. You can't go wrong with that. And there are a lot of exclusive Digimon to V-Tamer, which is kind of a shame that there's these Digimon who never got to be seen outside of V-Tamer. That is a shame. But I think Regulumon, as forgettable as he is to me, I think it's a bigger shame that we haven't seen him in more things, because again, it's a great design. I don't know why, but I just can never remember him. Great design though. So those are my 5 plus forgotten Digimon that I find it really easy to forget. Maybe these are more memorable to some people. I feel like the most forgettable in this list is Panbachimon, because he's just kind of there, like, in the anime, but every time, like, who are you? Who? Like, every time. Again, Olympic Games mascot. But in any case, that's it for my lists of Digimon that I just keep on forgetting exist. I would love to know what other forgettable Digimon there are. Maybe some are so forgettable I've even forgotten about them for this video. Like, maybe there's some really, really, like, next level forgotten Digimon, so please let me know in the comment section below. See if you can test me. Say, hey, do you remember this Digimon? And I'll be like, maybe not. I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the comments who you think is a forgettable Digimon. Like this video for Regulumon, hopefully appealing in something else. And no, it is not Regulusmon, as in the Gamamon evil perfect form. It is Regulumon without the S, and he's a lion, not an angry, edgy dragon. So like this video for him, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have subscribed, tell your neighbours, tell your friends, tell your enemies, and of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!